Please welcome Chris Hickman.
Thank you.
The title of my speech is How to Appear Not to Be Nervous During a Speech. Who here would like to know how to appear not to be nervous during a speech? Almost everyone would. Now notice the main word I said, not to appear to be nervous during a speech. I'm going to share with you some tips today that I've learned so you can come up here when you talk. You can still be nervous, but from the audience's point of view, you may not look nervous. I think we've all given those speeches before where you sat down with someone and said, "You did a great job," and you may have thought, "I was so nervous, I couldn't believe it," but they didn't notice. I think we've all had those speeches where we were nervous and it showed. I think the first one is the one we prefer. So I'm going to share with you some tips you can use. First, let's look at what happens to our bodies when we come up here. When we come up to speak in front of a group of people, a lot of times we have the flight or fight response that goes off. Adrenaline is released into the body. Our heart beats faster. Our body is preparing for a fight or to run. Who here has ever been to the zoo and seen one of those massive tigers or lions? Most of us have. When we come up here and talk, the same response, if one of those massive tigers were right there ready to eat us, is the same response we can get when we come up here to talk. Isn't that pretty strange? So that makes us want to run. So as that adrenaline is pumping through our body, what's happening? It makes us want to move faster. It makes us want to talk faster. It makes us want to get out of here. So now, what can we actually do to make it so we don't look nervous? Well, first, there's some automated things that happen. Whenever your fight or flight response kicks in, you do want to move faster. You do want to talk faster. You want to get from where you're at, you want to be somewhere else. You want to be somewhere else. So looking at that, automatically we move faster, we talk faster. So when you're up here, to appear not to be nervous, focus on talking slower. Focus on moving slower. Seems pretty easy. But when you come up here and that nervousness kicks in, all those things that are automatic take over, and we start doing all these things with our hands, our bodies, and swaying, and we don't realize it. So something you can do starting today, once I get done with this talk, when you come up, if you're in table topics, if you're an evaluator, you can pick one thing. You can say, I want to work on slow hand gestures. Or you can say, I want to work on slowing my speech down. Have you ever seen someone who's really nervous, who talks slow and moves their hands slow, and you thought they were nervous? They don't go together. Those are two things you can do, but you have to consciously think about them. So that might mean you have to pick. You have to say, for the next month, I'm going to work on talking slow when I feel nervous. And it's going to be hard to do. I remember when I was starting off speaking. I talked really fast. I talked like this, and I didn't realize I was talking fast. And people say you talk fast, and I didn't think I talk fast. And I was told that repeatedly. And I had to work at it. And each time, I got a little bit slower and a little bit slower. It took me months. It took me months to where I even realized I was doing it. But I worked on it. And it's just training yourself to come up here. So realize when you come up here, it's okay to be nervous. We all get nervous. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like being hungry. We all get hungry. But if you were to focus on one thing, just think about it a little different. When we come up to give a speech, are we really saying, I'm going to focus on my speech, but I'm also going to focus on talking slower? Or I'm going to focus on moving slower. My gestures. Because when you do that, you can get it internalized. So you may be able to work on it. Say for the next 4, 5, or 6 speeches, you work on just talking slower. And then guess what happens? Maybe at speech 7, you don't have to think about it anymore. You're able to just start talking slower. Maybe it's speech 40, like it was for me. Maybe it's speech number 2. But if you work at it, and you can still be nervous. Your heart can be beating 1,000,000 beats a minute. But we won't know it if you're talking slow. And then you may do that for 7 speeches. On the 8th speech, you may start talking slower automatically. Then you may say, I'm going to work on slower gestures. And that may take 8 or 9 speeches. And if you look over the course of 2 months, 3 months, maybe 5 or 6 months, you can have 2 things that will for sure make you look like you're not nervous. Because we've all seen speakers come up here. If you come up here and you talk slow, and you move your hands slow, no one will think that you're nervous. Because you will appear. The title of my speech was, Appear Not to Be Nervous. There's no way to just get over being nervous. I think we'd all like to have, you know those metal detectors you walk through in the airport? I think we'd all like to have one of those right here. And once you walk through it, the nervousness just stays right there. And you come up, and then you can talk, and it's just like you're talking to yourself at home. When you rehearse the speech, you look at yourself in the mirror, or you say it, and it's really easy to do. Everything goes smoothly. There's no mistakes. You don't slur over your words. But then we come up here, and that happens. Excuse me. So it's just training ourselves to know whenever you get that feeling. Because you get the same feeling as when there's a massive tiger right here that could potentially be ready to pounce on you and eat you, as when you come up here. Now the last tip I want to give you, so I've given you the first 2, which is talk slower and practice. Move your hands slower and practice it. The last one is to actually come up here and do it. Now I know in the first 2 tips I said to practice them, and this one is kind of like saying the same thing, but it's actually reaffirming it. Come up here and practice what you want to do. Practice the speaking. Practice talking slow. Practice moving your hand gestures slowly. That's how you get better at it. I think we all want to get better at speaking by thinking about it.
7.
Come up here and practice, and realize it's okay. If you come up, you don't have to be perfect. Where's it at? 7?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. If you come up here, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get a little bit better. And pick one thing. So if you're doing a table topics today, if you're doing evaluation, maybe try talking slower. I'm going to try talk slower. Those are the tips you can use. Very simple to do. Just takes a little bit of effort. Talk slower. Your hand gestures slower. Really emphasize it. And practice doing that. So if you do those within maybe a couple speeches, maybe more, you can come up here. And you may be nervous, but you will appear not to be nervous.
Always learn something from this every time we come up here and speak. But I think I would challenge someone to talk about how to control not just the